So Ketanji Brown Jackson is decent from what I have seen thus far. Her track record is like, okay, she's got lenient sentencing. She was a public defender, which is usually unique for this position. That background definitely is important, but also at the same time, like from what I understand, she's also allowed, the Trump administration to continue building walls against the interest of the environmental groups that were trying to stop that. So like there's some good, some bad, but overall pretty she's the first public defender. Yeah, like that's sick. But also got endorsed by the police union. Not so sick. So like I said, you're never going to be able to become a Supreme Court justice in a hyper-capitalist hole like the United States of America when you're technically like a deity that upholds, this is like the last bastion that will uphold capitalist thought, unless you're, going to have some bad points of view. I was never expecting someone to be like a, secret Maoist third worldist trying to fifth column the country from within and destroy it, undermine American imperial hegemonic status and blow up military bases or some shit. That's not going to happen. Oh, there it is. Oh, they're literally doing it. Okay, so that's their big thing. Their big thing is going to be that she's like, pro child pornography or something, which is psychotic. You know what I mean? Just absolutely insane. Also, you guys are the libertarians. You're libertarian adjacent. What do you mean? You're upset at the distribution of child pornography? Ted Cruz, what do you know what libertarians are about? I mean, that's kind of fucked up, brother. About to lose some libertarian votes. What is even the point of this? Is like implying she's going to legalize CP or something? Yes, that is quite literally the point. They're basically trying to say like Democrats are pedophiles. Again, it's just like a long way of taking that road to say Democrats are pedophiles when they're literally Republicans who fuck 17-year-olds all the goddamn time and get caught doing so.
You were asked for 72 months. You imposed 60 months. That was a 17% reduction.
A couple of observations. One is that your chart does not include all of the factors that Congress has told judges to consider, including the probation office's recommendation in these cases.
Well, Judge Jackson, we don't have those probation. The committee has not been given the probation office's recommendation. We would welcome them. Mr. Chairman, I would love to see those. We don't have access to them.
The second thing I would
say... Okay, but then, we didn't get that information, so I'm going to call you a pedophile lover. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you telling me... Are you telling me that I can't, draw a direct line into calling you someone who is sympathetic to pedophiles? That's fucked up. I'm going to keep doing that. Bro, lenient sentencing as a judge is a good thing. It doesn't matter what the fuck you're talking about. And every single thing that you cover is criminals. Every single time you do lenient sentencing on a criminal, they've done a crime. So of course it's going to be fucking bad. Okay? It's going to, I guess, technically look bad. You just have to literally plant your foot firmly in the goddamn ground, remind everyone that America has the most draconian, immoral criminal justice system, and it's the reason why we have 25% of the entire world's incarcerated population, enslaving them, by the way. And basically fucking, you have to mention that it's bullshit. It's completely unacceptable. Of course, lenient sentencing is the right thing to do. What we're currently watching is a Senate confirmation hearing for Ketanji Brown Jackson, Joe Biden's first SCOTUS nominee, appointee. This is a symbolic process for the most part. They're just going to belittle her. Ultimately, it's all a matter of what Mitch McConnell and the Republican Party decide. Or even in the situation, it's just they're going to, it's just, there's nothing going on. It's just symbolic. This is pure symbolic. We did this with Amy COVID Barrett, and in that situation, it didn't matter. You know what I mean? But same with Kavanaugh, and it doesn't fucking matter. Ultimately, they're just having a conversation about her background and grilling her about why she hasn't run the top of the hour ad break and it's 23 minutes in. I hate that in America, it's seen as a bad thing if you have lenient sentencing attitude. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's not seen as a bad thing to just total psychos. It's seen as a bad thing to most people. As I tweeted while this was going on, Americans are so brain broken about crime and automatically assume that lenient sentencing in our draconian, inhumane criminal justice system means that you support the crime and the criminal rather than having a restorative, rehabilitative approach centering justice. If you're doing lenient sentencing, that means you like the crime. and you love the criminal, and you actually might even want to do the crime yourself, and that's why you're doing it. And not because like that is your attitude, that this government is fundamentally flawed. This system is fundamentally broken. Oh yeah, she defended someone who was in Guantanamo Bay. Like she has an interesting background. Yeah, actually, this is also correct. The sentencing issues supposedly that they're bringing up isn't even lenient based on the legal standard, and that many judges, just like herself, have agreed that old sentencing guidelines are too harsh and make no distinction between those who shoot and create child pornography versus those who actually distribute or have child pornography, and therefore the new recommendations and that are pretty commonplace among most judges is exactly like her, offering lower sentences than the predetermined recommendations at the federal level. So it's not even like lenient. It's not even actually fucking lenient in the sense that like she's letting people get off or anything like that. On the one hand, they're trying to say she loves child pornography. Like she's a fucking child pornographer. She loves it. She wants to, let people send and distribute child pornography. On the other hand, the conservatives are being like, she's CRT because, black judge. Obviously. CRT, brother, which is bad, by the way. We will not describe further, but it's bad.
So, Judge Jackson, all of us will agree that no one should be discriminated against because of race. When you just testified a minute ago that you didn't know if critical race theory was taught in K through 12, I will confess I find that statement a little hard to reconcile with the public record, because if you look at the Georgetown Day School's curriculum, it is filled and overflowing with.
I don't know what to say to this. Like, I don't know what to say. This is so fucking stupid, dude. I can't believe you're not talking about the Georgetown Day School curriculum that has my version of critical race theory, which is entirely made up, all over it, top to bottom. It's kind of fucked up that you don't know about how much filled to the brim with critical race theory our K through 12 schools are. Absolutely filled to the goddamn brim.
Critical race theory. That among the books that are either assigned or recommended, they include Critical Race Theory, an introduction. They include The End of Policing, an advocacy for abolishing police. They include How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram Kendi. They include literally stacks.
Disgusting. I am so mad. I am so incredibly mad. They're teaching these kids how to not be racist. How fucked up is that? Don't you know it's heritage, not hate? But hatred is our heritage.
Stacks and stacks of books, and I'll tell you two of the ones that were most stunning. They include a book called Anti-Racist Baby by Ibram Kendi. And
oh, that's awesome. Fuck yes, dude. Let's go. That's sick. I can't wait for this.
There are portions of this book that I find really quite remarkable. One portion of the book says babies are taught to be racist or anti-racist. There is no neutrality. Another portion of the book.
Bro, by the way, the funniest part about all this is that this shit is mid, dude. I mean, look, obviously, it's like fucking children's books is like a racket and a way to make money. But like, it's just so mid. It's not even good. It's like, oh, babies are only taught to be racist or anti-racist. There's no in between. Yeah, okay. Well, that's just whack. There's nothing even fun there. Like, this is not like a fun. The art itself is like, all right.
They recommend to babies confess when being racist.
What?
Now, this is a book that is taught at Georgetown Day School.
What? Yo, anti-racist rhetoric is hilarious, dude. I'm sorry. But, like, some of this shit is so fucking stupid. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Oh. Okay. Confess when being racist. This is a racist-ass baby. This baby is doing hate crimes.
To students in pre-K through second grade, so 4 through 7 years old. Do you agree with this book that is being taught with kids that babies are racist?
Bro, this is the Supreme Court justice, dude. Yo, this is our Senate confirmation hearing for the next Supreme Court justice. Like literally like a deity, as close to a demigod as you can be in the American political, in the American government. Like this is it. It's a lifetime appointment. You are literally going to be fucking deliberating on shit like that is going to change the lives of millions of people, maybe even billions, depending on, you know, because America has like an incredibly America has a lot of influence over overseas, as we all know. So like wild that this is the question that Ted Cruz is asking in this thing.
Senator, I do.
Dude, what is that pause? Okay, that's
Taught with kids that babies are racist.
wait.
Senator, I do not believe that any child should be made to feel as though they are racist or though they are not valued or though they are less than, that they are victims, that they are oppressors. I don't.
It's like, yo, I don't think I want this job anymore. Yo, we are literally this is the worst country. We are, come on. You can't say this is a good country. Okay? You can't. You can't maintain the position that we're a good and normal country and then do this shit. Okay? You just can't. You can't do that.
Believe in any of that. But what I will say is that when you asked me whether or not this was taught in schools, critical race theory, my understanding is that critical race theory as an academic theory is taught in law schools, and to the extent that you were asking the question, I understood you to be addressing public schools. Georgetown Day School, just like the religious school that Justice Barrett was on the board of, is a private school.
Okay, so you agree critical race theory is taught at Georgetown Day School?
I don't know, because the board is not, the board does not control the curriculum. The board does not focus on that. That's not what we do as board members. So I'm actually not sure.
Well, and I'll note that the board is chaired by Professor Fairfax, your college roommate who introduced you yesterday. So the two of you serve on the board together. Another book that is on the summer reading for 3rd through 5th grade is a book called Stamped for Kids, again by Ibram Kendi.
Bro, Ibram Kendi got the bag, okay? Straight up. I mean, holy fuck, dude. It's just like, what the fuck? Everybody's like, yo, you got it. This is it. You want to understand racism? You got to read Ibram Kendi. It is a major bag alert. Holy fuck, dude. It's crazy.
I read the entirety of the book, and I will say...
Wait, first of all, Ted Cruz definitely did not read Ibram Kendi. Or if he read it, he hate read it, I guess, and did not take in any of the lessons.
It is... an astonishing book. On page 33, it asks the question, can we send white people back to Europe? That's on 33. That's what's being given to 8 and 9 years old.
Wait, why is he acting like that is... Okay, what's the rest of that? There's most likely an example. I mean, I am obviously a racist myself, so I have not read any Ibram Kendi as an LGBT foe and also a racist who has been banned for racism. Anti-white racism, the only kind of racism that matters. I'm going to go ahead and assume the point of that hypothetical is to say how silly it is to say that to black people. He clip-chimped a book? Yeah. How are you gonna take a book out of context, dude? That's crazy. They literally wrote letters in there. They wrote the words in there. It does not lend itself to be clipped out of context. It's crazy.
It also, on page 115...
I'm a racist baby, actually, I've realized.
As the idea that we should pretend not to see racism is connected to the idea that we should pretend not to see color. It's called color blindness.
My man's Kendi.
Skipping ahead, here's what's wrong with this. It's ridiculous. Skin colors.
The book is pretty bad, though, for real. Yeah, I think a lot of the anti-racist, as someone who kind of does whatever Republicans think is CRT regularly, but in a cool way. I think a lot of this fucking writing material is dumb as fuck. I don't know anyone. I've never met a person who's been like, yeah, I read this book and I'm no longer racist. You know what I mean? I feel like the anti-racism curriculum is maybe it's helpful. I don't know, but I do find it fucking kind of dumb overall, you know? I don't really know, like I said, I don't really know that much about Ibram Kendi's writing. It's just like fucking annoying though. I hate like the white fragility arguments and yada yada. It's real. White fragility is a real concept, but I do despise the types of anti-racist writing that hammers on the point or like vilifies from a point of morality white people across the board. It's just stupid. Like you have to invoke some kind of materialist analysis in your arguments and describe the reasons as to why certain kinds of divisions amongst intra-class divisions exist. And a lot of them don't do that, and they just say like, "Oh, if you're white, you're racist." I'm obviously exaggerating, and that's what Republicans exaggerate on as well. But there's always like some weird cringe shit that these libs are fucking making, specifically so they can get the bag on dumbass corporations that will hire them to speak to their fucking executives and tell them that, you know, here's how you do anti-racism or whatever.
Something we all absolutely see. Skipping ahead, so to pretend not to see color is pretty convenient if you don't actually want to stamp out racism in the first place. Now, what this book argues for is the exact opposite of what Dr. King spoke about on the floor of the Lincoln Memorial. And
then I'm back. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You could literally write a book about how, you know, you should write Fuck White People, the book, and it does not matter. It is literally nothing. And I mean nothing is as horrible as what conservatives get to fucking say on a daily basis about black people, about historic black figures, about how whitewashed, the whitewashing that they engage in. It's over. You should actually give whips to the black students to whip the white students, and it still wouldn't make up for this rhetoric happening, okay? In schools and all around in every part of America. Holy fuck, dude. I am losing my fucking mind. Jesus Christ. And it's so normal. What I said is abnormal. What I said is insane, right? You're like, what the fuck? I can't believe you said that. That's crazy. But what Ted Cruz can get to say every fucking day is just like destroy the history and the background of a radical, democratic socialist, black civil rights leader and totally get away with it. And literally in the most disgusting, the filthiest way possible, use his fucking quotes and not the rest of his work where he even talks about how his dream is no longer realized and no longer can be realized even, to say some racist shit to stand against progress. It makes me so mad.
Are you comfortable with these ideas being taught to children as young as 4 in respect to the first book, as young as 8 and 9 in respect to the second book?
Senator, I have not reviewed any of those books, any of those ideas. They don't come up in my work as a judge, which I'm respectfully here to address. In my work as a judge, which is evidenced from my near decade on the bench.
Okay, good. Then let's go back to your work as a judge.
There is probably nothing more disgusting, nothing more heinous, nothing more racist than using Martin Luther King's quotes out of context to literally justify being further racist. Like in my mind, I can't imagine something. It's insane, dude. And that's another testament to how prevalent white supremacy is. Okay, that's it. White supremacy is such a normative position that people can get away with doing that. It's it. People can get away with doing that. And that's what's taught in schools. That is, nobody knows about his fucking, nobody knows about his radical background, what he would be considered as a radical, why he would be considered a radical by today's standards as well. Anyway, let's watch.
President Biden announcing his pick for the Supreme Court, nominating Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Federal Appeals Court Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yeah. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
She is Judge Ketanji Jackson, rather.
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Ketanji Brown.
Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
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 Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
He
selected Judge Brown Jackson.
Ketanji Brown Johnson.
Bro, how the fuck? Okay, look. Some names are hard, bro. Some names are hard. This literally is not one of them. Like, that's crazy. Am I wilding out? Like, that's not a hard name. As a matter of fact, I feel like they added more letters to it and like kind of made it harder for no reason. Like Ketanji is how you say it. So, speaking of black people's business, let's get to the she's not black enough portion of the proceedings. Of course, they're there. Let's take a look at what, everyone's favorite commentator of black people and black issues, at least according to Nicki Minaj. Sorry, it's just the truth. Tucker Carlson had to say.
I have to say, her views really seem like those of every affluent white liberal I've ever met. If you want a black candidate, I'm serious. I think the country would get better representation from... she's just a carbon copy of everyone in the neighborhood I spent my life in, Anyway.
This is what happens, Tucker. They want cosmetic diversity, but everybody to have the exact same opinions. No diversity of thought, diversity of appearance. It's scary.
If you picked a rap star off the street, that person's views would more likely be closer to the views of the average American than the views of...
Wait, I don't understand. There's not a single fucking Supreme Court justice that isn't like an annoying academic. What the fuck kind of take is this? The only reason why this is a conversation is because like Tucker Carlson wants to say like she's not black enough or whatever. What, like, do fucking... is there a one Supreme Court justice that actually represents or resembles like the average American's point of view? If that was the case, there'd be no need for a Supreme Court. Like, what the fuck? Also, why is the first thing that Tucker Carlson thinks about when thinking about the average black person is a rap star off the streets? Yeah, rap star off the streets.
Woman, I would argue. I've bet money on it, actually.
I was in the 160s, by the way, since people probably want to know about my LSAT scores. There you go.
Bullshit. Yes, the hearings are done so that conservatives can take a fucking pound of flesh. That's it. There's no other reason. And same with like when the Republicans held the majority in Congress and they were doing the symbolic meetings and Democrats tried to do everything they could. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's about elections. Who won the elections? Who has the majority? You think she's going to get approved, or will there be enough opposition? To what? Wait, who? Who's going to say no? The one purpose of like these freaks in Congress like Manchin and Sinema is like voting yes here, okay? If they say no to this too, it's like at that point just fucking throw him in jail. Honestly, throw his entire family in jail. And if you don't do that, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I mean, it's like this is literally it. I mean, this is it. Plus, Republicans support her. Like, this is just bullshit, okay? This is just bullshit. This conversation that they're having, this back and forth, is bullshit. Wait, what? Charlie Kirk, Ketanji Brown Jackson is what your country looks like on critical race theory. Your children and your grandchildren are going to take orders from people like her. And what's amazing is she kind of has an attitude too. Wait, what?
So as we get into that.
Bro, this dude hasn't changed his outfit in like 2 days, bro. He's still wearing the same fucking ugly ass hat and shit.
These very simply stated questions do not require overthinking. So I suppose another question here, though, is where does this come from? Well, KBJ, Ketanji Brown Jackson, is what your country looks like on critical race theory. KBJ is your country on CRT. KBJ, Ketanji Brown Jackson, is an embodiment.
Wild that his face is so tiny that the camera can't focus on it. The camera's literally focusing on everything but his tiny little face. The camera's having such a hard time being like, we don't have artificial intelligence and face tracking technology has failed us. We can literally find random people in a fucking crowd of thousands, if not millions, but we can't find Charlie Kirk's goddamn face, okay? We just can't do it. Can't find his face. No face tracking technology currently exists.
Of the tyranny that we currently live under. She's an ideological, unintelligent, yet confident fanatic who is so dismissive that you might even ask the question of what a woman is. And so
I don't get it. Like, what does that have to do with her fucking appointment? Like, what? It's like being upset that, she wouldn't tell you what her McDonald's order was like 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? It's just unrelated to the conversation.
Able to answer simple questions on biological reality or the natural law that anchors the Constitution, then how can she possibly be prepared to defend it or the purpose of the Constitution? The answers from KBJ, outside of the fact that she won't answer the very simple ones, such as what is a woman, reveal a distaste for our structure. How will KBJ ever decide a case on a woman's right to choose? How will KBJ ever decide a case on affirmative action if she can't tell us what a woman actually is?
Bro, Antonin Scalia was a fucking incel, okay, who had never even seen a woman in his entire life, and yet he still had no problems deliberating on what happens to women. Don't worry about it. I think she'll be all right.
She wants to be the first ever black woman on the Supreme Court, yet she won't even admit that she's a woman. And of course the media is playing along. The New York Times thinks like this is awesome, like, whoa, she's so smart. She's at such another level that she won't even play the game of answering what a man and a woman is. Brilliant.
You know, Ketanji Brown Jackson, please answer the most important question of the day. How many holes does a straw have? Oh, you won't? You won't answer it? Well, guess what? We knew it already, but this confirms it. You are not eligible to be the Supreme Court justice. Is hot dog a sandwich or a taco? Oh, can't answer that. Coward. Can't be Supreme Court justice.
No, actually, that's a mark of the unwise. The unwise person takes something that makes sense
real life politics
and makes it complicated. So we've bashed against CRT a lot here on this program, and we're going to continue to. What do you get when you start to platform and implement critical race theory into every single corner of American society, in your corporations, in your schools? Your children and your grandchildren are going to have to take orders from people like her. And what's amazing is that she kind of has an attitude, too. You look carefully at some of those videos, she kind of just, she's like, what? Why are you asking me such a question,
Do I get my
Senator?
brain rot yet?
She feels entitled to this position. Why wouldn't she? It's not like she got this position based on her qualifications. It's not like she was selected because of her amazing rulings. Of course not.
I'm confused about what CRT has to do with gender. Like, I don't know what he meant by that. It's very confusing to me. KBJ, please tell us if you cheesed Melania Pago straight up. And yes, Philly D.
Right on the note of
Philly D thumbnail baited with me.
people
again.
reacting to these clips and a culture war, you had people like Hassan Piker saying, so sad that in the absence of meaningful progressive economic policy goals, every political topic is set by reactionary culture war wedge issues that the GOP can dust off whenever they're bored of kidnapping the parents of trans kids or whatever. But also with this, Jackson wasn't under fire the entire time. She received a lot of praise from Democrats who really just gave her soft.
Hey, shout out to Philly D. Shout out to Philly D, dude.